Welcome to Midnight Girltalk, the show that should be recorded at midnight, but isn't. I'm Puppy Girl. I'm here with my co-hosts, Midnight Rain and Purple Moon.
Howdy.
And this is our introductory episode. So, we're going to be introducing ourselves, kind of what the premise of the show is, and going over everything that's going on. How are y'all doing today? Just to start it off.
I'm doing pretty well.
I'm okay. I've had things happen, but we're all good.
I'm glad that you had things happen so that we can exploit your drama for the show. I'm
great.
really glad that we can have everyone see the details of your life. I'm kidding. Okay, you don't have to talk about anything if you don't want to.
Of course.
Of course.
But you never know.
Anyways.
There might be somebody out there that is going through the same thing, and that might help them, or they could probably help me. I don't know. We'll see.
This
That
is
is
Girl Talk.
fair. At midnight, yes. Well, about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so kind of like broadly talk about the point of the podcast. Go ahead.
The point of the podcast is basically us girls trying to talk about things that we have done, things that we're interested in, things that maybe other people are interested in that we don't understand, but we want to know more about it, and just try to figure out more about sex and ourselves, and maybe some other girls could be interested. Anything else?
Also, guys are welcome sometimes.
Yeah.
Only if they ask nicely, though.
If
And
you
tread
want to
your
know
own
about the
risk.
deep dark.
Yeah. It's like, okay, like, you can hop on if you really wanna. Just, like, look out, okay? Look out.
You might get torn into a little. Just saying.
Maybe a little bit, okay. But
Hey,
they're
somebody
probably
might
into
like that.
That would track. Yeah.
True.
And then, so,
Introductions.
if y'all have any, questions, comments, topics, things that you want us to talk about on the show, for your amusement specifically, you can email us at
midnightgirltalk@gmail.com.
I am glad that you made that email. I would be afraid that someone else would try to grab that, Well, when we blow up, if we don't take the Gmail, like, fuck.
Yeah, amen.
Well, isn't that the point of the podcast? Is talk about fuck?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I heard fuck. What's up? Anyways.
I mean,
Moving
at our
on to our
house.
first topic.
Well, do we
wait,
want to talk
what?
about ourselves a little bit? And
About that, I'm kidding. Okay. Go ahead, Purple. Talk about yourself.
okay.
We're
Hi.
gonna be here all day.
No, I'm Purple Moon.
We're gonna be here all night.
Well, that's a
I'm
little
sorry.
point. I'm married to Midnight Rain. We've been married for a long time, and we are recently in an open relationship, and we are trying to figure out how that goes. So that's my little basic.
You're a little basic.
That's the little basic part of me.
Okay.
All right, Rain, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I am
I still
Midnight.
gotta think about what to talk about.
I am. Good job. All right. So I am Midnight Rain. As Purple Moon said, we are married. I'm her wife. We've been married for about 14 years. I am a trans woman. Spent 32 years trying to pretend I was something I was not. And now life has gotten better, and we are trying to figure that part out as well as navigating our open relationship. So, good stuff. We'll talk about a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm a puppy girl. I couldn't think of a name before starting the show. Um,
But you're such
I
a cute
am.
puppy girl.
Thank you. Um, I I have a girlfriend. And we've been in a relationship for like a year or so now, and we've been going out for like a year and a half. I think that's going all right. Um, yeah, we're both subs, and she's not okay with opening up our relationship, so, you know, I'm allowed to do stuff with other people online, but not really IRL. So for me, it's been a lot of trying to experiment through like online stuff and kind of figure out what I'm interested in a way that I can't necessarily explore in like an IRL relationship at the moment. I do a lot of I've done a lot of audio stuff in the past. I've made a couple of podcasts in my day. So yeah, I'm a fan of pet play, believe it or not. And
Just a little.
just a little bit, just
Just a little.
occasionally, just like, yeah, just a little bit.
That is a topic. Just FYI, whoever's listening, it is a topic.
We'll
What,
touch
you're
on
gonna
it.
just spoil it? You're just gonna spoil the podcast for them? How could you?
No,
You monster.
just something for them to look forward to.
Personally, I look forward to pet play, but not as a topic on the show.
I mean, I get it. I could see why.
I can see why you could see why.
Wow.
Alright.
Okay.
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 Okay. Is there anything you'd like to admit to us, Purple?
I'm feeling a little
Yeah,
called
Purple.
out.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, y'all made pet play a whole topic, okay? So,
Okay.
I feel like I need to call you out right now
Go
before
ahead.
I get called out later.
Okay. So there's a couple of different things that are experimental in what has just happened in the last 2 weeks. One is
Could you explain what's an experiment for the listeners?
Oh, shit. Experimenting, as in trying something new and seeing if you actually like it, enjoy it, what it does to you, and what doesn't work for you. Because the only way you're going to know is by experimenting and trying to figure out who you are. So, and when you get a partner and you decide to have a relationship, you can actually tell them and show them what you like. And it might make things easier and better, or it might go, okay, that's just not going to work for them. So, um, experimenting. One, we are trying to do this whole open relationship, as Rain has said, that we've been married for 14 years, and a lot has happened and changed, and realizing that I still need a man of some sort. So we are trying to figure out how,
Well,
why
is it
I
a man
need
as much as like a dom? Because if
a
you're into like a really dommy woman, it sounded like you needed more dominant energy, but I don't know.
right.
You know?
I need a dominant man, and
Does it have to specifically be a? That was my question. Was that like?
I think so.
That's fair.
I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I really do think so. Um, and I thought I found one, and right now we're taking a small break. Um, so we're, like again, experimenting. You're trying to figure out where your lines are, where the boundaries are, and where your comfort zones are. And we hit a comfort zone, so we're just gonna dial it back a little bit. But another thing I did experiment last night was the whole pet play. And I can see where other people would like it and get into it and really like lose themselves. I don't think I'm the one to be like that. I'm not that type of person. But I tried and it just wasn't for me, unlike other people.
What other people? I don't understand what you could be referring to.
Oh,
I don't know
Puppy
any.
Girl and Minute Rain. I'm calling out both of you.
Listen, okay. It's just I I don't know what else to tell you, okay? Me, I would never.
So-
My mom said no.
Today or yesterday?
Well, it would have had to been like 16 minutes ago because I was at an event in VR chat. That was the joke. Was yeah. Anyways. Yeah, personally for me a lot of my experimenting has been a lot of it was initially with my girlfriend about kind of what we enjoy in like just like general like sex stuff, so like positioning, what kind of teasing, what types of just acts in general, and it yeah, that kind of slowed down after a while, especially after I got my surgery I got a surgery like 7 or 8 months ago. I'm trans and I got an orchiectomy, which is where they remove your balls. And that kind of killed my sex drive, I'm not gonna lie. And now it's like it's building back up again, but for the last however long, for the most part, I just haven't been able to get horny unless I kind of get dommed. And my girlfriend is not super comfortable doming me. So there's kind of been like a standstill there where I've been doing a lot of stuff online. And I still obviously, love my girlfriend. We're great for each other, especially like emotionally and like romantically. But whenever it comes to more of like my interest in like kink and stuff like that, for the vast majority of that shit, I'm doing that online. Yeah. I feel like
We
I've
had to
given that
figure
talk
out
like
where the
30
boundaries
times.
are on that as well. No.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's also been frustrating because it's really hard to find people that, like even VR chat or whatever, that are the type of dom that, is like my favorite, and I don't really know how to verbalize that, because like I had somebody ask me whenever I started talking with them in Discord, like, yeah, well, like, what kind of dom do you like? And it's like, I don't fucking know. Well, I can kind of tell, but I completely know. So a lot of my experimenting has kind of been to try to figure that out. I still don't super know how to verbalize that, but I kind of have an idea in my head of what I want.
I was like, the only thing I could think of about like with dominating is how dominant can they be and how much you're comfortable with. And even the voice style and stuff like that. That is a big part of it. And that's what I started realizing.
I think from what you said that there's a wider variety of domination than you think there is, right?
Oh, I know. That's
Because
why it's still experimental.
Yeah, well, because it's like, oh, well, you could have somebody that, because whenever you think of like normally what I think of is like a hard dom versus a soft dom, and it's like, oh, well, what's like the difference between these. Well, like one, one is, I think in my mind there's also like an aesthetic tied to this, right? So like whenever you think of like a hard dom, you think of like, oh, they're really controlling, and if you fuck up, like you're gonna get punished in a way that's probably violent, and then the way that they're going to interact with you is going to be in a less like caring and nurturing way. But they'll have a different level of control over you as well. And then whenever it comes like a soft dom, right, you're thinking, oh, they don't have as much control over me. You're thinking more like mommy vibes, and in like a more softer whatever, in like a less amount of control, and them not like telling you to like go and do as much. But like there are a bunch of different axes that you can follow along. So you could be like, oh, a soft dom, and like you can have like that higher level of control.
I mean, even there's a time and a place for it as well. It can't, in my head, it's not, I want you to dom me all the time. Most of the time, it's just because I want you to dom me in this particular time, in this particular place. That way, I don't have to think. I don't have to make decisions.
That's fair.
But in life, I still have to be me because we have children, we have a marriage, we have bills, we have like normal life. Well, our normal. But I just want somebody to help me with the I don't want to think anymore part.
Yeah, for
and I don't want to get into trouble. I don't want to be punished per se. I just want somebody to help take that little bit of control from my life.
Yeah. And I don't even, because I'm pretty new to this as well, so it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of stuff that I'm figuring out as I go along. But it's like, oh, for me, it's like, fuck, I lost all of my thoughts.
Sorry.
It happens.
I don't know. For me, it's like, yeah, I want to be able to like shut my brain off, but I think for me, it's like, oh, it depends, because it's obviously not like all of the time, but there are like situations where it's like, oh, this is a more casual setting, and it's like, okay, and this part isn't necessarily like sexual in nature or whatever, but it's like, oh, okay, just like calling back to in some way to me that like, oh, this person is like my dom or whatever. So whether that's like oh, like, so whether that's like, oh, okay, we're like hanging out with friends or whatever, and they like ask me to do something, and then they like pet me and call me a good girl. It's like a reward for doing that, right? It's like, oh, okay, that like calls back to it. Or if I'm like almost like a little bit of an eruption into like the normal things that are going on can help you like put you in that headspace in a way that to me is really positive.
Agreed.
And not necessarily like all of the time or whenever I need to be focusing, because I can kind of turn that off in my brain if I really have shit that I need to get done, where it's like, if there's like, oh, I'm normally really submissive and not bratty at all, but it's like, okay, I need to like get things done right now. So it's like, oh, okay, like I am not, you can kind of like bring yourself into or out of that headspace if you have like a level of control over what you're doing. And it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, that can be like an important thing, or I don't know, but your dom should be able to understand like, oh, she needs to focus on the real world right now. But also like a part of your like play or whatever, right, can be like them helping you to get things done in like your day-to-day life and like focus on your responsibilities or whatever.
Yep.
As well, because it can help be like a form of like motivation or whatever that can help you get through that daily life stuff that can be difficult if you're like disabled or whatever.
Definitely.
Okay, so Rain,
What's that?
experimental.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's your turn. I'm calling you.
Oh, there's been a lot of experimenting for me, especially in the last year and a half or so, because I really don't know much about myself anymore. Um, you know, living most of my life hiding who I really was and having to be something that I'm not. It made it to where I really did not look at things the way I would have if I was allowed to be myself, or felt like I was allowed to be myself and be open about the things I want. So now I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Um, like for instance, well, hell, we'll just even say like last night with with all of our Discord chat. Like before I was not allowed to, or at least it was frowned upon for anybody to think of me as being into guys or anything like that. And it's still weird for me to know that, I could find some guys attractive. Um, so
And not just that, but that like considering that you present as female and you pass really well now, that like not only can you find guys attractive, but it's like expected.
yeah, so that is very different for me. Um, and trying to let myself go to have those experiences has proven tough for me, which we are getting better about that. Um, and it's the same thing as in the bedroom too. I have a hard time figuring out what I like for myself now. Um, so I
Well,
try to
like
push myself to
when you say
do
that,
different things
right?
that are outside my.
So our audience isn't necessarily trans, but when
Say
you
it again.
say that, like, when you say the, I don't mean to interrupt you, but when you say like, oh, okay, like, I'm having a hard time figuring out what I like in the bedroom anymore. When you say that, do you mean
Hmm.
like because your body is changing, because the way that you interact with like the way you interact with your body is changing, or like the way society interacts with your body is changing? Like stuff like that. Like in what way? Like
There is a lot
why?
of
Why?
yeah. So the mm, so it's a little bit of both, but I would say it's mostly because there's a lot within my own body that has changed. A lot of things feel different now. A lot of things work, or feel, I can feel like that I didn't feel before. Some things don't feel good like they used to. Um, Trying to navigate that and figuring out how all that works now can be very frustrating. Enough to the point where it gets to, okay, well, I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm done for the night, or I'm done for that go around, whatever you want to call it there. Um, and it's left us, unsatisfied at times. Um, Now, like as far as there is like the whole as society sees it, yeah, there is still mental blocks in my head where it's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't like this. Am I supposed to? Like, what do people think of me if I'm doing this? But that the older I get, the more that's like, oh, who gives a damn? As long as I'm not hurting anybody and we're both having a good time, then what does it matter? So I mean, yeah, experimenting. It's a fun part of being alive. It's a fun part of having sex. I mean, and then like, the other, I, did the whole, got on VR chat with you and found I really like being called a good girl. I had no idea about that, and now we use that ourselves. So,
And just to let y'all know, there is a time and place for it. um, yeah, I've since she discovered that, I've used it a little bit, and it has helped. It does make her feel a little bit more wanted and satisfied that it's the attention that I realize that she needs. And since we're experimenting and we're trying to figure out what's new for us and what we like together again, um, I kind of like the satisfaction of being able to do certain things for her to make her feel good and wanted and needed, and having that little bit of power, because I might want somebody that's dominant over me, but I'm still fairly dominant of Rain. Um, she's mine. I'm very protective of her. Um, and I want to make sure she's happy and satisfied. But that's also because we're married and we've been married for so long that that's just how I guess relationships are. But also, I also have to realize now that if I wanted another partner, I have to give up that freedom from of her. She needs to be able to feel like, okay, I want something a little bit more man or woman or whatever. Um, and I have to let her have that freedom. That's another experiment that we're trying to figure out is we have to set the boundaries and be comfortable with the boundaries that we have set within our marriage and relationships that we will have from here out.
So, whenever it comes to kinks, what kind of things do y'all sick fucks enjoy?
Who wants to go first?
I'm
I think
into
Rain
just
wants to
a
go
lot of
first.
different things. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk. Um, like, it's changed again. But I will do pretty much anything in the bedroom, honestly. There's very few things that I'm like hard no on, and most of that involves like, the golden showers, defecation, stuff like that. I'm not cool with that. And let's see here. I feel like there's one other big one and I don't like anything like, licking ass or eating ass, stuff like that. Nope, I'm good with that. But everything else, you want to play with toys, you want to spank, you want to, use ice, do the whole, the pet play is pretty fun apparently. I'm finding out. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm a fairly kinky person. I'm not as big on pain.
No, you're not a huge fan of paint. That is very sure. That's me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've pushed my boundaries with that a little bit sometimes, but it's okay.
I'm the one that likes a little bit of pain.
Yeah.
I think that's part of my kink, I guess.
Yeah.
um,
Personally, for me, my main stuff that I enjoy is kind of like the dynamics of like pet play, and degradation and praise, primarily. Other than that, there are a couple of like smaller things that I enjoy, but those are like the main ones that I've found. And it's just kind of finding out what kind of a dom that I want within those kind of parameters or whatever,
Gotcha. I'll add a little bit to mine there. I love rope. I
yeah.
like being tied up.
That's understandable.
Yeah, we watched
I've
an
never
episode
been
of
tied up.
something and they had rope. And she was like, ooh.
Oh my god.
Yes. I was like, "Did you like that?" And she's like, maybe a lot more than I thought." For me, I like the little bit of pain. Um, Jeez, the smacking of my ass, not like a lot, but enough to get my attention. Please don't leave a mark on me. It's not necessary. Um, the pulling of my hair. I like it rough.
Wait, yeah, and I've gotten a little better at doing that, right?
Yes,
Recently.
recently. Um, I don't know. It's just like there's little things that I like the idea of being flogged. I don't know. Like I don't like being a pet. That is I tried it. It's not me, but I don't know. I How do I explain it? I like the idea of somebody looking at me and like playing with my hair and telling me I'm pretty. I mean, what girl doesn't? I mean, wow. But there's like a difference of like, all right, you're really really pretty, but I'm going to have my way with you. So, sorry, I had a cough.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think of what other kinks would I have.
You're pretty big into toys too.
That's fair. I don't know if that's like a kink
Give me
as
a
much. It's just like
I mean, I like the idea of being tied up. More my hands than my feet. The rope is really nice. Um, Handcuffed. There are certain other toys that I want to experiment more with. Um, I don't know. That's just we're still trying to figure out things, and it all depends on like how comfortable Rain is with doing certain things to me, or me doing it to her. And if there's like a hard line for her, I have to be able to find somebody else that is willing to be that curious and be able to do stuff like that. And that's where I would understand if I how far I'm willing to go and be still comfortable, or where I get uncomfortable. If
that's
that makes
fair.
any sense.
Um,
It never makes sense.
for
Pete. What about you, girl?
I don't know. For me, it's like high key. Not necessarily about specifically what we do as much as like the dynamic between me and the other person. And so a lot of the times when I'm doing pet play stuff, it isn't sexual at all. uh, yeah, but other times, like, believe me, it is.
I understand it though.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. It's like, oh, okay. There's someone like who's gonna like take care of all of the other stuff. And I've gotta fucking think about it. And then also like, and yeah, I don't know. It's just like, oh, okay, great. Like, and it's just kind of comforting, and I get to kind of turn my brain off for a bit, which is
Now,
great.
when somebody comes up to you and actually tells you you are a girl and you're a pretty girl, you do become putty. And
Yeah, a little bit.
um, and we know that from even you being with us, because we all know each other in real life. And
Yeah.
we do know when you get to a small little low point, Rain and I can actually go up to you and like hug you and just tell you that everything is going to be okay. And you like that sense of security, it seems like. And
Yeah.
us being really, really good friends with you, um, I I feel like it does help, and it kind of just like in everyday process. It's not meant to have to be sexual. Sometimes it's just to know that I am safe. I'm going to be taken care of regardless. So,
Yeah. And it's like, it can be annoying whenever stuff like that will, like, it's annoying when there's overlap because then people will always assume that it's completely sexual.
Yeah.
right.
And it's like, oh, okay. Like, nah, dude, chill. It ain't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, calm down, bro. It ain't that deep.
Sometimes I just want to be told I'm pretty.
Yeah, a little bit. For me, it's not as much that anymore, even though a lot of it used to be. Like, oh, I don't feel like I'm pretty, or that, like, I pass or whatever. And it's like, nowadays, it's like, nah, like, I pass pretty much no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Unless if something really fucking weird is going on with, like, my voice or whatever, like, oh, okay, like, and even then, I'll still normally pass to some extent. I don't think I've been misgendered in a very long time, but when it comes to, like, the feeling of being, like, secure or whatever, or like stress going away or whatever, I do not get that much, you know.
Yeah.
Or well, I get comforted, and it's like, that's great, but yeah. So we're all kind of new to BDSM more broadly whenever it comes to, like, kink and stuff. But the next topic is pet play. And I feel like we kind of got to talk about BDSM before we talk about pet play, you know?
Yeah, they all
Just
work
a
together.
little bit. Well, I mean, like, pet play is like an aspect of a dom sub relationship, or it's like an aesthetic one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You got this, Purple. You can explain what BDSM is. I believe in you.
I was just looking up the definition.
Oh my
Type
gosh.
faster.
So I can make sure I'm getting it right. It's physical restraints, granting and relinquishing. I can't talk today. Control and conflicting of pain. Okay, so that is pretty much what I'm thinking. How
Yeah,
far
it stands for
people are
different
willing
things.
to go. Right. But I
Yeah,
was just trying to make sure I had the right definition for it, so I know in my
that's
head.
fair. No, I get it.
um,
For me, I am not all that interested. There could be, like, a little bit of pain, like, I guess, like, as long as the pleasure is, like, more than that, right?
Yeah.
Depending what it is. But I am, like, not interested in, like, pain itself all that much. But whenever it comes to, like, I also haven't really tried all that much bondage stuff. But when it comes to, like, giving away control or whatever, like, that's something that I'm, like, very interested in.
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay, so I guess this is more up my alley, I guess. I like the physical restraints idea. I do not know how far I can handle it because it depends on what it is. If you have like a cuff, not handcuffs per se, because those can hurt. We have experimented with that in the past, but like leather cuffs type deal, where I can't touch uh, my partner at that point in time. That's kind of cool. I don't mind being blindfolded. Blindfolded. Um, I like the idea of the feathers and trying to have the filling sensations. It does not have to be full on sex. It's not necessary. Sometimes the foreplay or just having my body enjoy itself is quite nice. Um, like
Yeah,
it
that's
that's
kind of
the
where I'm at with
letting the control factor
my
go.
girlfriend. Where it's like, oh, we aren't like just like having sex or whatever, but it's like, oh, it's a lot of like touching and teasing and rubbing, like in general, not
It's basically
necessarily in like a sexual way.
it's basically like a lot of foreplay almost.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, like a lot of teasing. Like
I think my roommate just got back.
she said, like the feathers and everything like that. So like, going over and it's like, okay, it's pleasurable, but it's not there, or because you're tied up, you can't make it more pleasurable, and you want to, and it's that intense feeling and anticipation of something more, um, and as well as not having the control over doing it yourself or knowing what's coming next. For me, like I
Why
the
would you
whole
want to know what's next? It's not yours to worry about. What the fuck?
well, exactly, but some people like,
That
I
was
mean,
the joke, but yeah.
yeah, um, but like for me, like the whole rope thing, yeah, I like being tied up and everything, so I don't know what's coming next. I can't make it for myself there. Somebody else has to do it for me. The thought of, like you think about it, like a guy just grabbing a hold of you and pinning you up against the wall. That's freaking hot, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
you got me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean to me in a way is a little bit of the BDSM stuff there. I found that I do enjoy grabbing Moon by the back of the head with a handful of hair and just you know teasing her with kisses, like go to kiss her but don't actually do it. And then when she tries to pull me in, I take her hands and push them back on the bed or whatever, and says, "No, you're not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here red faced and can't stop moving.
Yeah.
um, but also with the pain part, I do like pain. Like I need to have a little bit of it. I'm not talking about you leaving whelps on me or like full on like bite marks that don't go away for a week. That's not
She
necessary.
does. She does like her nipples bit a little bit.
Wait, like, but that's not like a BDSM thing. That's just like that's just a thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's just
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, oh, she likes her nipples but a little bit. Wow, so kinky. Like, isn't that just what?
She likes it enough to where it hurts a little bit.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit different. You're right. You're right.
There needs to be a pain factor. It's not like a little nip and ooh. No, like there needs to be an actual bite down and me like
Gasping.
It sends me into a different plane. That is a whole other situation. Yeah, like a full on gas, arch of my back, head is in the pillow. Like
Yeah.
it's
No,
a
I
big
get it.
deal
I get
for
it.
me.
That's fair. Understandable.
And then like yeah, that's pain. Yum. Now you
Yeah,
got me
like
into a different situation.
I can handle some of that. It's just like, oh, okay. I get like overstimulated really easily, and then like that, and then like I just am really, really sensitive to touch. So it's like, okay, it takes a lot less for me to
Yes.
get there than a lot of other people whenever it comes to like the amount that I can endure or whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
I am also
in
ticklish literally everywhere on my body, and I don't know whether or not I should say that on a podcast because people who know me are really going to
especially
listen to it
does.
and be like, wait, she's ticklish literally everywhere on her body. Like, I don't believe her. And then it's like, oh, fuck.
I won't use that against you.
Yeah, we'll be nice. Okay,
You
also
better
under
not.
this topic, are like sexual positions. Um, there's also like with BDSM, there's like certain positions that they classify as you have your normals positions that you could do on a normal basis, and that could be very vanilla. With BDSM, it's like I'm going to hang you upside down. I'm going to strap you onto a table. That's where
Sometimes you
that starts
gotta.
to go a little farther.
I say that it's
Yeah.
like I've done it.
I haven't done it, but I've been watching some shows, and it can be pretty crazy. Like there's one, it's a bench. It looks like it could be a picnic table, but it's
Yeah.
like a lot smaller, and you actually like straddle it and you lay down, and there's cuffs on one of the sides, and you actually get handcuffed to that other side so you can't move, and your partner can do whatever because you're there, like.
You're
And
not moving.
yeah, so stuff like that, there's a whole different world out there, and I'm so interested in it. It's so crazy. And I never thought, if I would have told myself a long, long time ago that this might be something you'd be interested in, I would have gone, I think you're a little crazy, because that just sounds really, really strange and weird, but it really isn't. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
I think it's more than kind of fun, but I mean, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. Yeah, we're not the most knowledgeable on that last topic. So, like, if y'all have any, like, information or resources or, like, books or articles or whatever, you can email them to us at midnightgirltalk@gmail.com.
Or even like your things that y'all have tried that you're like, oh, we tried this at one time and it was quite enjoyable, but you have to be careful because if you move. I mean, we're actually very interested. The whole point of the podcast is that we are interested in all of this stuff. We just don't know a whole lot about it. And we know that there's people out there that have been doing it for years, or even people out there that are on the same page as we are, that are just a little bit nervous about talking about it. They rather
Oh, yeah.
listen, and you never know.
Alright, guys, for our next topic, we're going to be talking about the very funny topic of pet play. The very enjoyable. I don't fucking know. Alright, guys, do y'all want to explain what it is?
Which one? Pet play?
Pet play.
I think you're probably the better one to explain it, but if I give you my if I give you my take on it, I'll probably get it fucked up. But
generally, when it comes to like pet play as like a thing you do in kink, it's.
She got a little quieter. Did you notice that?
Listen. I'm looking at my audio levels. Okay, I didn't get any quieter.
Maybe not quieter, but you got a little calmer.
anyways, quit making fun of her. No shaming, damn it.
No, it's not shaming. It's just kind of cute.
Remember when I was making fun of you earlier and you were like, why are you making fun of me? And I was like, it's because you're going to make fun of me whenever we go to pet play as a topic. Exactly.
Exactly.
Take that. Get wrecked. So pet play is like a dynamic between like a sub and a dom where the dom treats the sub like they're their pet or whatever. So it's going to entail like a number of things from just like, collars and leashes and just like being called a good girl, to like, to on the more extreme end, like, oh, okay, like, not allowed on the furniture or whatever.
I'm sorry.
You said why are you sorry?
Because she's always jumping on the bed in VR chat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And she does it
Yeah.
on purpose to be a little stinker.
And yeah, she doesn't like the punishment. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, when you send me to another room, sad.
Yeah,
Or I
you're lucky I
can't go
didn't send you
anywhere.
to the cage.
Oh God, no.
Anyways,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
you should be sorry. Um, but yeah, it can be really fun. You can do like I don't know, something that I saw in like my research or whatever is that like generally whenever you're doing like a master slave kind of dynamic, you can have like poses or whatever that you tell them to get in. So whether that's like kneel or whatever, they have to get in that exact pose. You can do that with pet play too. You can do just general like commands, you know, like you would like a dog or whatever. And yeah, there are many different directions that you can take it, many different extents that you can take it. And personally, it's something that I enjoy, believe it or not.
Okay.
Believe it.
So, last night, I will admit, I tried it for the first time, like full on, um, by somebody that I actually would have trusted, just because I know that you trust him, and then he had made my wife very happy. I was like, all right, let me just experiment. And I told him this. I was like, for me, it would be just experimental. I just want to see what the big deal is. And he's like, okay. So if you have questions, please ask. And I was like, okay. So we did talk about it. I was very nervous because it is something completely new. I didn't want anybody to walk in. And so um, he did do as far as was comfortable with, which was pretty far. Um, and I'm normally a very visual person, which wasn't it. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me as I thought it could. But I do like the idea, like when he came up to you, like he comes up to you and looks at you right in the face and like messes with your hair and pets you. That was really nice. But
Yeah, that's what we initially started off with.
yeah, I like that part of it, but I don't know how I feel about the rest of it.
That's fair. I personally don't have issues going further.
Yeah.
Rain and I have actually talked about it, and she enjoyed it. Like I'm very like I was actually interested in knowing what exactly happened. How did it make you feel? Like I like genuinely interested. So I decided to try it, and I was like, okay, it's not for me, but now I know how I could help her. And because of that, I went, oh, this might be something she likes. I could try something similar to this. Um, so it helped me in one way, but it's not something I am particularly interested in having done to me, if that makes more sense.
That's understandable. Yeah, it's one of the I think it's one of the less common sub-dom dynamics. I think one of the most common ones is kind of something like DLG or, you know, MDLG or whatever different, where you have like a parental dom and then like a little sub. I could be wrong on that, but yeah.
And then being told you're a good, pretty girl doesn't. It's not bad. I will admit that. It's a good
Yeah,
feeling.
I personally agree.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Originally, whenever I started doing stuff, I started doing MDLG stuff like forever ago. And then I found out that I was into pet play, and then I was like, Fuck that shit. We're doing vet play from now on.
All
And now
right.
it's puppy hours. Anyways.
Rain,
What's
this
up?
is something that's new for you.
It is.
How does it feel? Like how is it going through and like now that you've had a couple of days to like process it in your head?
Um,
Because she was very like shy and timid from me because of it.
yeah, I mean, well, the reason why I was shy and timid with you was because of the situation of when it happened. You
Right.
being, yeah, you were right there next to me, but not actually knowing what was going on, and you were streaming. So, um,
That's understandable. I
I,
don't blame you on that one.
yeah, I didn't want to interrupt your stream, number one, and then number two, because
Didn't want to get her banned.
yeah, didn't want to get her banned, but then because she wasn't like involved at all, it almost felt a little secret, and I'm not used to keeping secrets from her, so after at the end of it, it felt a little. I mean, I was a little like, not, I won't say embarrassed, but it's like, oh my god, I can't believe I just enjoyed that as much as I did. Um, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. It's it is different, but it is very enjoyable. All the same things that you said, puppy girl. I get it. It's yeah. I
Yeah. And then it's what's interesting for me is that like um for me whenever it comes to like the aesthetics of it, right? Whether it's like, oh, like what animal like are you gonna be or whatever.
mm-hmm.
Um I don't know. I did stuff as like a kitty or whatever and that is not the same. I don't really enjoy that all that much. It's like literally just puppy play that I'm like a big fan of, which is weird to me. It's like realistically, like what's the difference? And it's like everything apparently. So I hear like sources are telling me that there is a big difference apparently. It's like okay, I guess like all right, brain, I see how it is. Apparently.
And that's the other part of that. Our mutual friend was like, okay, what if you were to be a pet, or what is the animal that you would connect to? And I'm very much of a kitty cat type. Um,
Yeah.
I do like being independent. I don't have to have anybody. I don't have to like do anything in particular, but when I want my attention, I need my attention. Like I'm very much that type of a person. Between that and the koala because I love to sleep. Um so Rain is having a small part of trying to figure out where if you tell her she's a good girl or here kitty kitty. I mean, she's still trying to figure out where her comfort of animal type is, I guess.
That's fair. And there's okay, you think that there's like two options, but there's actually a billion. There's so many. I've seen some like there are some weird ones that exist.
Well, we have
Not that
another
there's
friend
anything
who
wrong
was
with
like
that, but
an
yeah.
angel one day for like a little bit, and I thought that was kind of cool. Smacked me with his damn wings.
Oh my god. You just mean his avatar though, right? I don't mean like
Yeah, just
yeah,
the
no, I mean
avatar.
like there's a lot. No, I mean when it comes to like the dynamic
Oh,
and pet play or
IRL.
whatever, like IRL, like whenever it comes to like, oh, it's not just like oh you could be a puppy or a kitty or maybe a bunny, but there's like
There's so many different options.
no, there's a lot of options. Like look into it. Like there's a lot of options. Personally though, I'm a puppy girl.
such a cute puppy.
You knew it was coming at some point.
No, I didn't expect it. That's why it fucked with me. You
Because he's such
motherfucker.
a girl. You both are such good girls. I do find, like, once you find somebody that you trust fully, that's going to be probably the best part of it. Because you do have, and it goes back to experimenting. When you can experiment with a lot of different people, but once you finally find that one person that knows all of your cues, knows exactly what you're comfortable with, what you're uncomfortable with, and is able to mix it up but not make it where you're out of your mind for no reason. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you don't want to let that person go. And I understand that one.
Yeah, then you
Oh,
end
yeah.
up a long time later and you're able to laugh during sex.
Yeah.
Wait, you act like... Wait, do people not normally laugh during sex?
There are some people that are a lot more serious, but well,
We do. We laugh.
Because it's
Because
Because it's like, for
there's
me,
some things that
it's
you like, wow.
I don't know. For me, it's like, okay, this is like a really intimate moment between me and somebody else, and it's like, okay. But it's like, I'm also like making conversation with them. So it's like, okay. And I'm normally not a super serious person. Like, I joke about stuff generally. And it's like, okay. But like,
you tell a joke? No.
me tell a joke, I would never. I'm not known for that. I'm known for not doing that thing. Yeah, pretty much.
No, I find it funny if you're like in the middle of sex and you're like really into it and then your hip like goes numb or you start to cramp and you just look up and you're like, you're gonna have to stop for a second and you have to like reposition and like something else happens and the next
Your
thing you know
toy
is you're
slips
both
out.
laughing or your toy slips out and you just start laughing because it just happens. Like that's the whole point. Like finding your partner. Like Rain, she's my partner for life. Like no matter what, we can laugh during sex and still be able to get through
Enjoy
it
it.
and still enjoy that time with each other. And that is a good thing about having sex is enjoying it. I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah. This is gonna be it. We're gonna start wrapping it up. We had a lot more topics to go over, but we're starting to run out of time. We're trying to keep it around like an hour 15 per episode. So join us next time when we talk about salacious topics like relationships, LGBTQ things, books and or novels, etc. Okay, there's an empty bullet point here.
Dirty
we could
talk.
do fucking whatever. Okay, dude.
Yeah.
Take it.
Send us your questions. Send us your comments.
Yeah, send us your questions, comments, concerns. Send
Topics.
us your book recommendations.
Yes.
Send us your juicy stories. Send us your requests to be on an episode of the podcast. I don't fucking care, dude. I ain't checking that email.
And let us know if you want to be let us know if you want to be anonymous. Give us
That
a
as
name
well.
that you want us to talk about.
Also that.
We will not use real names. It's not necessary. But if you want us to say like a particular name or you just want to stay anonymous, just let us know for sure.
On God. Unless you're famous. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, if
I'm
you're
kidding.
famous and you want to actually tell us, like we're here for it.
Okay, yeah. If you're interested in our podcast, then hit me up. I'll give you the number of my agent. We can work something out.
Yeah.
All right.
We can always be a guest.
I will talk to y'all later. Don't die. Have fun. Don't do drugs. Other things like that.
All right.
Yay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh shit! It almost is midnight.